Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer1745 with my look at the Endsieg mod for Hearts of Iron 4. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. You can also like the videos, and we can see here that the Turks got a little bit of an advantage until, I don't know, is that an event, or did they somehow teleport in a bunch of divisions? I don't know. That seemed awfully lot. They're awfully fast. But that may be helping us here a bit. Yeah, there's definitely fewer divisions here. Okay, well, but I don't know if we should push in winter. Hard. Pushing here where we really should have an advantage. Well, thank you so much, Just Eric. Thanks. Do appreciate that. You guys don't know how much I appreciate all those that sub on YouTube, follow on Twitch. I really appreciate you guys. And yes, guys is appropriate because I get the stats. It's over 99% guys. Not that I don't want women watching, they just don't seem to enjoy the games I play. Well, maybe. Okay, these guys have been pushed. Oh, we've actually made an advance here. No, we haven't. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, you come up to there. Still not that wintry down here. Okay, Gewehr 98. Yeah, maybe we should wait the winter out, but we're gonna for sure keep pushing down here because we want to get this closed out. If we can.
Angetreten. Ausrücken. Ihre Befehle. Achtung. Ausrücken. Befehle. Zuhören. Achtung! Ausrücken!
Hello, Mason Hilton. Absolutely. Hey, Arno and/or Ari, can you guys pop maybe both into the Twitch chat stream and the YouTube stream link to the Discord server? Sundays we normally play War Thunder, and definitely viewers are invited to that, and through the Discord server we often get into other stuff. So yes, Mason, that definitely happens. Not really so much on Saturdays, though. Thank you, Ari. Very much appreciate that. So the first step to playing with me and becoming a, one of the guys that do, is to join the Discord server. and hang out with us, and whether it's playing War Thunder or Saturdays or no Fridays, we started playing some EU4 together. What was there, 5 of us yesterday playing EU4 together. We had been playing the co-op game of Hoi 4 on Fridays. Yeah, so yeah, Fridays is strategy game day. Sundays is War Thunder or other first-person shooter or other sort of, you know, that type of a game, driving tanks or aircraft or whatever. But yeah, well, looks like the Turks are being pushed back and cut off now. They're gonna lose, what's that? 7 divisions there in the cutoff bit. Good thing they joined up. Oh yeah, that's really helping. Well, maybe I can get them some... How do I get them troops? Well...
Angetreten. Ausrücken.
Let's see what we can do.
Ihre Befehle. Angetreten.
See if we can put some troops on boats and get them down there.
Ausrücken. Zuhören.
Frederick 6th von Arnheim wounded. Okay, we had a guy wounded. Yes, that's... Hopefully it's going to be a good game. I still need a lot of help playing it, but yeah. It's definitely, for anybody watching, easiest to just pick up a game with a new person is War Thunder for us, because you might just join us for a mission or two. But yeah, over time people can join and get involved. Okay, you fell back to here, so you come up to there. You guys. Okay, Total War 2.
Bereit zum Ausrücken. Bereit zum Ausrücken.
Okay, all of these guys. Well, I'm gonna assign all of them.
Zuhören. Angetreten.
And some of these. Yeah.
Bereit. Los, los, los.
Now what are we doing here? No, guys. No, 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 no. What the hell? No, 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 no. Stop, stop. I just want these guys here. No, no, okay, no. Oh, come on.
Achtung!
Stop. There. And let's give you here.
Ausrücken!
No, I clicked in the wrong spot again. Okay. That port. Gotta try to get the right. There we go. There we go. You come in here. We need military access from you. No, we're in the war, I guess, so we don't have to deal with that. This is Endsieg, which is designed to cover World War I, but it also goes into World War II as a continuous game, potentially. So I guess it's best shown zoomed out, just to see from the focus tree. So it's sort of World War I, World War II combined. Your naval invasion, are you thinking to Russia? Well, I've thought about a naval invasion. I wasn't thinking that ambitious, but that's maybe not a bad idea. I mean, I've kept a bunch of, intentionally kept a bunch of reserves because I didn't know that these guys would like be winning something on the front line and all these units over here. So I have a fair amount of stuff. Oh, Montenegro.
Bereit zum Ausrücken!
That's also not a bad idea. Okay, well, let's...
Achtung!
send these guys and go over to here, maybe.
Zuhören! Angetreten!
Yeah, they should surrender. Especially if we get their capital. Okay, well, it's springtime. Springtime for Kaiser.
Zuhören!
And whether I'm just using the wrong divisional templates, which I don't know that I am, or something this just really is overly stalematey, I would say. Unlimited front that is fairly well entrenched and fortified, I sort of get, but I don't get this. Okay. Okay, so we did an Asian Corps. Is that a unit for us or just a... No, I didn't read it very carefully, of course. Advisors to Turkey, okay. We'll do that. We want to keep them in the war as much as possible.
Bereit zum Ausrücken! Angetreten! Ihre Befehle!
Okay.
Ihre Befehle!
Let's see, can we do an invasion into the... No divisions.
Zuhören!
Naval invasion capacity is exceeded. Select 3 divisions. Okay, so 3 is too much. I don't think I can do naval invasions. I didn't even consider that as being a inability thing. Naval Doctrine. Okay, here we didn't do this. Okay, well. Okay, well, in 7 days we will start researching the Naval Doctrine for invasion. No, I didn't even think of that. Okay, well, come on, let's get your core. I don't think walking is going to take too long. Let's get along here. Maybe we can break these guys out. Don't know. We're not going to break in, but we may break them out.
Bereit zum Ausrücken. Achtung! Angetreten.
There we go. Put some pressure on those guys. Oh, this is forever battles. Down here, not quite as a forever battle, but still.
Ihre Befehle. Bereit.
Artillery, okay. Well, we know what we need to do now. Okay, guys, well. Maybe they can still fall back there, I don't know. Well, not realistic on the Eastern Front sense, that's for sure. Realistic here maybe, but... Now here we are just holding on, not attacking. Well, since that's what we're doing, let's... No, that's France, so... Arizona's there. Coup in Portugal. Today, on May 14th, a political military uprising has started in Lisbon with the objective of taking power from the dictatorship of General Pimenta de Castro. And returning the government to the principles of the 1911 Constitution. On the morning of May 14th, a group of revolutionaries, including naval marines and regular soldiers, occupied the naval arsenal in Lisbon, immediately taking possession of the arms. Pimenta de Castro's forces attempted to encircle the naval arsenal. However, they were bombarded by Republican ships, including the NPR Vasco da Gama. Although Pimenta de Castro's government managed to escape, they had eventually surrendered due to disappropriate forces that were armed against them. There have been, according to some sources, 200 people killed and 1,000 wounded or something. Okay, there goes another dictator. Well, not a very successful dictator. He didn't last very long. Yeah, well, we're holding out here, it seems reasonably effectively. Since we're staying at peace with the British, we're doing well. We stay at peace with the British, we should be able to stay at peace with Portugal.
Zuhören.
Join that fight there.
Bereit zum Ausrücken. Bereit.
What are we doing out here with our preemptive attack? Not terribly successful.
Los, ausrücken.
Okay, I think we're just going to go into defensive.
Angetreten.
Well, he's got 6 divisions in the line now. Nice. Well, once we get ability to do invasions, then maybe North Africa.
Bereit.
Armenia declared war. Of course, Armenia declared war on the Turks. Well, this is Armenia, I guess. That's helpful. Boy, Turkey, you know how to run a government well. Almost as well as Portugal.
Ausrücken. Zuhören.
Okay, well, we have free civilian factories. We're building up some actual fuel, so, yeah, I guess more military factories actually is what we want to do at this point. West Africa? Yeah, what's the point, Aerie? We're defending out here just fine.
Ihre Befehle.
We got the port. We're doing okay. We're holding out. Well, nobody's attacking us over here, but yeah, we're doing just fine. Yeah, that's true. Less resources for them. Armenia has capitulated and they've joined the other side. Okay, very good. No, this isn't. Okay. Well, no, not all of you. You come here, you guys come here.
Ihre Befehle.
You guys go up to there. They marched in, they were effective there. Okay. I think Aerie thought I wasn't going to like this mod because it was unhistorical. And I think to some degree he may have been looking at here. But I do know that this is maybe not entirely accurate, because I don't know how long U.S. occupation should be down here and whatnot. But there was sort of nutty things going on in Mexico that I don't know if you would go, as the Zapatistas own this much territory or whatnot. I don't know. And the Panchavists up here, I don't know. But okay, so I'm actually fairly liking the historical elements of this mod. But what I'm not liking about this is it's this. What, we've basically gone a year? And the border hasn't changed at all. Now if you go, but gamer, you didn't make the right type of divisions. Oh no, I just want to see the template. You didn't make the right type of divisions. Okay, well, when I make historically accurate divisions, or, well, somewhat historically accurate divisions, I'm not saying this is exactly what a German division looked like, but it's something vaguely relationship to historical divisions. I make those, and they don't work. I've got to make this crap. Now, whether you want to, I don't know if they had artillery divisions in World War One. I'm just not a big World War One, knowledgeable on it. There were a few artillery divisions for the German army in World War Two. But those were they weren't like divisions that you would throw into the front line. They were sort of administrative divisions. Like, oh, hey, all these guys here, we need to have the food delivered to them and pay delivered to them. Well, it's best to just organize them up as a division and call them a division. But then you send out, artillery battalions to go, attach that artillery division to a corps or maybe even to an army, and then have that army commander give out portions of that division either to plug, artillery to plug the gap, come in to plug the gaps, or, we're going to do an offensive here, so yeah, we need to, special, reinforce the section there. And a pure just artillery kind of thing. Oh, they would have had a little bit of, some of the artillery divisions had, a battalion or two of regular soldiers, partially just to, do the manual labor more than just, load and feed the gun, but do the sort of, building of the entrenchments and the sort of support aspects. Oh, yeah, and if the enemy's breaking through, have some security troops kind of thing as well. And that's what a few of these, I'll go, okay, that could represent them. Okay, a few of these. Make 6 of these divisions. And we've had a year-long, you can look at the Battle of Tannenberg, it goes pretty quick. Battles are just taking too long to resolve. Some of that I can put on, but the Russians shouldn't have enough equipment. They should be out of equipment, and we should be killing them because they don't have equipment. I'm not arguing about here. Here I'm not arguing at all, Harry. But somehow, Russia had some really nicely equipped divisions. They actually started out with their sort of frontline divisions having the most, I think, machine guns per battalion or whatever for the grade A or whatever you want to call them divisions. Now they raised a hell of a lot more divisions that didn't have enough support equipment, and they ran out of ammunition and they collapsed. And the idea that I can't make any headway here, any headway at all. Oh, we got this province here, and what are you doing? What are you going up there? Oh, I don't know. And they took memo from me. Okay. But yeah, we've done okay down here with Serbia. But so there's something wrong, Ari, here. And there was, we didn't do the Schlieffen plan, fine and good. So these sort of divisions, just in case Belgium sort of came in, they're sitting there. But they haven't been needed. And I get the slugfest element. I really do, Ari. Well, okay, and here, the thing the AI had the ability to build up. Well, then, see, that needs to be corrected, because I would definitely say, from my knowledge, is they massively, in the first year, this has been about, because it started, June, July. So we've been playing this for a year right now. They massively ramped up weapons productions of all types. Not just more factories, which they sort of, whether you could call some of them converting civilian to military use factories, as well as just expanding or building, or in this case, sort of be building new factories. But even factories that were under normal productions, or normally producing arms, ramped up the arms production. And there really isn't that good of a thing. It would be so much better for them to, in my opinion, because there was an event and I wasn't expecting it, that brought a bunch of sort of reserve divisions, like these 11 divisions, or, well, there may have been 2 there before that were sitting in Berlin, the others, so that would be 9 divisions. And you can look at the episode and see where they all sort of arrived. It would be better for all the nations to be, for the build-up part of it, to be much less military ICs, or ICs much less effective, or something. So this is getting my thumbs down overall vote, and not because of historical alliances or actions in places like Mexico. I know I've discussed earlier in this series whether Britain would have come in anyways, even if Germany had not gone through Belgium, and that to me is, I'm not sure one way or the other. So that's not a problem. And Germany could have decided, that's, to me, is a reasonable what if. What if we hold here and push on Russia? That's not like, oh, space aliens landing, or what if Hitler wasn't anti-Semitic, or what if Stalin was actually a nice guy? We're not talking about real impossibilities. We're talking about some sort of diplomatic stance that goes, yeah, we're just going to hold here, but we're going to pound on Russia. And Russia should just be not so much weak in numbers of men, but weak in the amount of equipment, that they just collapse. And since now I object to rations. I don't, if you just change that name to ammo and you consumed it in combat at a hasty rate, I would not be against it if you called ammo. Now, ammo would be something very hard to get for Russia. As opposed to just click out here and I'm seeing, food or whatever, just because, hey, they grow lots of food out here. Something produced in factories, something that would show the inability of Russia to sustain long-term operations. Russia cannot do this. It might have the men, but it doesn't have the guns. And trust me, guns, you can't just do the Soviet thing. Yeah, one guy with a rifle and 5 bullets, and then 2 guys behind him, each with 10 bullets. So when the first guy dies, they pick up his rifle and use that. Yeah, that happened. That kind of thing happened, like in some of the desperate fighting around Stalingrad here. And a few other places. But that wasn't the usual. That wasn't the normal for World War II, or even in World War I. Now, there were lots and lots of Russian soldiers that either had way outdated guns or no guns. But they weren't being put on the front line and told to go die, at least not for the most part. Now, and I say lots of Russians without guns. These would be like the guys handling the artillery for the artillery units. And they just prioritize guns for the infantry. And so there'd be lots of soldiers that may not have rifle, have whatever rifle may be. And they may be, they weren't using any muzzle loaders as far as I know in World War One, but they might be some single shot, whatever. The French bought a bunch of single shot, what were they? Were they Sharps? No. Remington rolling blocks that you just put in, you cock it, you slip one bullet up in the breech of the barrel and you close it and you fire it in one shot. Now, basically, none of them ever got used in combat. I mean, not saying never, but basically, meaning that they were like, guarding the railway depot here in Tours to make sure that no one steals military supplies. So the guards that are walking around the railway yard that has boxes of supplies ready to be loaded onto trains to go somewhere, they would be armed with this single shot rifle. So, and maybe some troops that were, handling ammunition for the artillery units may be stacking some off somewhere to the side, a bunch of these, single shot Remington rolling blocks that they bought or something like that. Meaning they might be near the front lines, but they're not infantry soldiers at the front lines using them. And maybe if there's some breakthrough, they picked them up and shot at the Germans a little bit, but they weren't, combat rifles. Now, I do believe there's more of that type of stuff going on in Russia, with poor equipment being used, as well as places like Serbia and whatnot. But this is just getting my thumbs down. I really wanted to like this mod. I was really liking the peacetime stuff. I could really do with a, effects here for peacetime and for various nations, including Germany, that may make it so that it's hard to build things and just have a fairly large standing armies. A lot of these, and whether you have the landwehr divisions pre-standing or have them spawn up by events, but have a lot of regular units instead of me training them up. Because I think from 1910 to 1914, there was little or no training up of new units. This is one thing that I object to in Hearts of Iron, generally speaking, that all these things start out blank. Now here, starting out tank designer blank for World War I thing, yeah, great. Starting out blank for the Air Force, yeah, great, because there's maybe no Air Force in 1910. Why the hell didn't we start out with an admiral in charge of the Navy? Now, it might be a sucky admiral, whoever the historical one was. He might be sucky because he's a political appointee, because he's cousin of the Kaiser or something, or the brother of the owner of a major shipyard production thing, and he just gets it because bribery or something like that. I don't know who the head of the was it Tirpitz or somebody maybe at the time, and whether he's a good guy or a bad guy because this is political power gain, so that looks like he's a political power kind of guy, naval experience minus. So you might start him out with that and then go, hey, we want to convert over to commerce rating to go out for submarines. So you have a need to spend political capital to shift to better military leaders. But you should start out with some military leaders, sort of starting out with people there. You have to agree, though, that it's kind of stupid. The government is, completely. Yeah, I disagree with this whole thing with Paradox and this, blank slate starts. Do the historical start, and you make it to stupid idiot who can't run his department in charge of it. That's fine. Clear him out. It's not everybody like we. and he was, I've talked about it for various reasons. Speer was very good for German armaments production for various reasons. Okay, you don't get to start out with Speer or whoever's great. Now you might start out with Schreck, who is actually a good economist, but that's more running civilian economies than military economies. So, yeah, for a World War II scenario, so you might have I'm not saying you should, have his traits that reduce military effective caps, even though you're raising it through other means, but he's better he reduces the amount of or cost for building civilian factories or something like that. So, you can do some of that. Start them out with the historical starts. So you can start out with the historical orders of battle, maybe less what you're calling sort of rear area reserve units or something like that. And for France, for Russia, for whatever. And yeah, you can do rifle production. And yeah, you can sort of we know what's coming a little bit. So you do some, ship production, or more, instead of doing what the Kaiser wants and build more big ships to sail on the sea, you build submarines instead of continuing production of big battleships or something like that. That reasonable, 4-year buildup. And you may have again, I don't know enough to know one way or another, but you may have modifiers that make naval production cap down lower, so it's not very efficient. So you'd produce for the same amount of shipyards. But once the war starts, well, whether you dump in more shipyards that might be equivalent to having shipyards producing for civilian use normally, that get shifted over for military use because the war starts, but also the efficiencies of the shipyards may ramp up once the war starts. So I don't know if we had started with the 1914 version, if this would be better, but you should be able to do it. So yeah, this is getting my thumbs down, and then maybe you can sort of tell, I know for the mod, when you start mid to late war, you get 2,000, meaning you can assign everyone. Yeah, and that could be another way of doing it, Ari. That's not a bad way. Dumping a huge amount of political power. And Paradox has learned that they've overused the mana mechanism. But when you talk about political power, and I'm a political science major and I study politics. Okay. When you, Trump can fire, or Bush or Obama can fire a cabinet member at a whim and not cost him much problems. A cabinet member normally has a constituency. It may be internal constituency, into the government. It may be an outside constituency. Hey, he's a conservative, or hey, he's a religious guy, or hey, he's an ethnic minority, or whatever it may be. So he may have a constituency that will be upset if you fire somebody, but it's not really going to upset the political landscape. But, which was the problem with Hearts of Iron 3, is that you could, I want to, design a new tank or something. And so I'm going to switch out the tank design company, this guy, and then I'm going to, once he's designed, I'm going to switch to this other one, and then I'm going to switch to this other one, or I'm going to switch from this guy to this guy for this guy, this guy. Constantly, you could do it with no disruption to your politics. So constant switching, firing cabinet ministers, and this is more of I see this as a little more of an emphasis. What's the main aircraft production, or what's the main arms production? Pick which one you want to do as the lead. Okay, but if you're, so it costs a bit to switch out. So switching once in a while, any one of these things shouldn't be a problem. You should have political power to do that. And for most of these decisions, well, I don't know necessarily these, but a lot of decisions shouldn't necessarily take real political power. Oh, it might take a 1 or a 5 or whatever. Now, banning socialism or liberalism, okay, that may be a big thing. But, so you can't constantly do musical chairs with ministers or research design companies or whatever, but just doing a little bit of switching once in a while, switching, say, up to 4 ministers within a year, whether it's all at once, because sometimes they do shuffles like that. They'll fire, like 4 all at once and hire new ones, or if and occasionally, every 2 or 3 months you fire one, you hire a new, and you sort of presumably have a reason to do it. The department isn't running efficiently or something. And so an occasional, that shouldn't be that big a difficulty, but it's not, hyper switching. So I sort of agree with the political power idea. I mean, I generally agree with the idea of it, but if you started out and you didn't make it too costly, but you made it so that you can't, just pure min-max all these for, some of these areas like division training time. Right now, do I really care about division training time? Well, I'm not currently, because that's part of, training new divisions, so I guess I don't care about division training time. So he should go. Now, what should I put in place? Armaments organizer? Maybe. Or something, I don't know. And so some of that, and I have the points here to do it, so I could change it, yeah. So I sort of disagree with I agree/disagree. It's not entirely one way or the other. So yeah, so I'm giving this mod ultimately a thumbs down because of this. Just because when I did, and for the winter, I was going, okay, winter's coming. We've got all these divisions. That's probably not the best time to attack. But with a continuous attack here, using, and I know there's no artillery units, but there has been some in springtime at least, and no movement here, no abilities without doing some sort of super special. So I'm going thumbs down. This has killed it for me. So for the time being, I'm done with Endsieg. Next week I'm going to come, I don't know whether it's Black Ice or something else. I will take suggestions. Ari and others can talk to me in Discord over the coming week with suggestions. I'm very willing to do it, but I think this ends Endsieg for me. Yeah, I don't see staying with it. So thank you all who watched, all live on YouTube, Twitch. Really do appreciate that. And those watching later on YouTube, but I think this does it. It's getting my thumbs down. I really wanted to like this, but, and I get Ari's point, slugfest World War I, but they've mishandled Russia, and I think they've mismanaged this to maybe not as big a degree, but a degree as well. So thank you all. See you next time for more Hearts